70% of digital transformations fail, and it's almost never because the software is bad. Right now, professional services firms are pouring money into AI, new ERPs, and automation because they expect efficiency and growth. But most of them are not seeing the returns they were promised. So instead of efficiency and growth, they get bloated costs, frustrated employees, and confused customers. My name is Inga, and I help firms validate their business architecture so their tech investments actually work. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why the tool needs to come last and what you absolutely need to do first when it comes to investment or implementations of any AI or tech solutions out there. So let's talk about why this is happening. I call it the tool first trap. Leadership is led to believe that buying some kind of tech solution will make chaotic workflows, disjointed data, or a broken operating model more cost efficient. And I see this constantly in the work that I do with my clients. A firm has a messy client onboarding process, so they buy a new platform. But the software doesn't fix the process. It just forces staff into a rigid workflow that doesn't match how they actually work. And your people feel that mismatch immediately. Here's what's actually going on. When you buy a tool, before you architect the capability that it needs to sit on top of, most leaders are thinking that the platform is the fix. But in reality, the tool is just a new wrapper around the same mess you had before you spent all that money. So, what are the signs of the first trap? Well, to start, you burn out your people. Forcing them to adopt technology that doesn't match their daily reality creates massive resistance that shows up in turnover or open frustration. Second, you bleed capital. Those enterprise SaaS licenses are often just glorified digital filing cabinets your team's using only because leadership told them they had to. Third, you break your processes. Teams are inventing hidden workarounds just to keep the business running, which means your real process is living inside shadow spreadsheets instead of the platform. And the research backs this up. BCG found that 74% of companies are struggling to achieve and scale AI value, even while the adoption rate keeps going up. Forbes put it bluntly, returns on AI are failing because organizations haven't redesigned their workflows, incentives, or culture. That's exactly why the software gets blamed for what is really a significant operational gap. Like I said, the tool isn't the problem, but the foundation underneath it is. Until you fix that foundation, every new platform you buy will crack under the same structural pressure. When you skip that alignment and go straight to the software, you're just repackaging all that dysfunction in a newer and more expensive interface your team will quietly abandon within the first month. And the worst part is that you can't see the damage right away because in month one, those dashboards look good. They look clean. But by month 3, your best people have started updating their resumes. Then by month 6, you've got shadow spreadsheets running half the business, which in all likelihood and honesty probably never stopped. And nobody trusts the system they just paid for. The tool doesn't match what they actually do. And that's when the platform becomes the enemy instead of being an asset. The reason technology tools can't fix a broken business isn't because the vendor sold you a bad product, mostly. It's because of a principle in systems design that's been true since 1968. Melvin Conway published a paper called How Do Committees Invent? When computing still meant giant mainframes and little punch cards. But what he discovered still applies to every ERP, AI, or CRM platform on the market today. Conway's law states that any system an organization designs will mirror its own internal communication structures. This means that the software you buy will always reflect the silos that already exist inside your firm. Martin Fowler summed it up perfectly. Systems follow the communication patterns of their designers. Your product ends up shaped like your org chart, whether you plan for it to be that way or not. To put it simply, if your departments are siloed and your workflows are fragmented, your customer and employee experience is going to feel broken. And no software you buy can fix that. So when you buy that shiny tool without fixing the underlying business architecture, you're doing more damage than just not solving your original problem. You're automating your existing silos at scale and hard coding all that dysfunction into your new system. Think of it this way. If your sales team and your delivery team don't talk to each other, a new CRM is not going to fix that. It will just create a digital wall between them with better notifications and flashier dashboards that mask the same broken handoffs. If your approval process requires 3 people to sign off on a $10 expense, your new ERP won't fix that either. It will just enforce the same broken chain faster, which means your people hate the process twice as much. The software becomes a very expensive photograph of everything that's already wrong. And because Conway's Law is nearly 60 years old, we can't blame this on new technology. It's not an AI problem or a SaaS problem, it's an architecture problem. Like I said, if you've got a straw house, you have to pour a concrete foundation before you buy an expensive tech roof to put on it, or else those walls will collapse because the tool can't hold up the business. The business has to hold up the tool. So if buying tools first is the trap, then what's the actual pathway out? High-performing teams, the ones seeing margin expansion, don't start with tooling at all. They know the software is only as good as the structure beneath it. They look upstream and ask 4 hard questions before they sign a single contract. 1. Is the data clean enough? 2. Do people have the right decision rights? 3. Are the process documented in a way that everyone can actually follow them? And 4. Does the overall business architecture support what they're trying to accomplish? If the answer is no to any of those questions, a new tool definitely can't fix any of those things. But what it should tell you is that the call is coming from within that straw house. Fix the foundation first. Map your operational model and clarify who should be making those calls. Clean up your processes. Validate the health of your capabilities. And that means the people, process, data, and governance behind them before you think about what technology could accelerate any of that. Once the foundation is sound, then you ask questions like, what technology could accelerate this? You're not looking for something that's going to replace your process. You're looking for something that speeds up what's already working. A capability isn't an app you subscribe to. It's what your firm actually does, supported by the right structure underneath it. That's a completely different starting point than browsing vendor comparison sites. This is why BCG found that fintech, software, and banking, believe it or not, have the highest concentration of AI success leaders. It's not because they buy better tools. It's because their underlying architecture is mature enough for the tools to actually work. The sequence matters more than the software. So, before you greenlight that next AI initiative or ERP rollout, pause and map your capabilities first. Please. Validate that your people, process, data, and governance are in sync. That's the only way to know whether a new tool will help or just make things worse. And then, and only then, start shopping for what technology can speed it. In my experience, technology really is only effective if it's serving 2 main goals. First, it should be a simplifier that reduces the decisions your team has to make. Then it can become an amplifier that enhances the value that you want to deliver. But if your business architecture is broken, new tech will just add complexity and amplify the existing chaos. A broken process that's automated is still broken, just faster. True utility and ROI only comes from strong roots, not just software. If you're a leading professional services firm and about to greenlight a major AI investment, step back and map those capabilities. Don't spend $1 on any platform until you do. If you're not sure where you stand, you can always take the operational health quiz. The link to that is in the description below. Or if you're already budgeting or mid-initiative, it's not too late. You can book a 15-minute audit consult and bring your workflow and tool list. A 15-minute conversation could save you 6 months of expensive rework. The link to that is also in the description. And as always, don't forget to add your thoughts to the comments below. I do read every single one, and the best questions sometimes turn into the next video. Also, please remember to like, subscribe, and share this with other people so that they can also benefit from content like this. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next time.